Thanks for joining us here at KGSM-TV this week. I'm Zoe Jane.
And I'm Jaden Miller. In this show, we'll talk about some of the changes both on and off campus. We have an in-depth interview with the Golden Griffon Marching Band Director, Dr. Halligan. And as always, Harry and Kenan will have the Griffon Sports Update.
But first, Missouri Western has some important deadlines that students need to know about. As the end of the semester nears, registration for spring classes has begun, and our own Jaden Miller discusses why it's so important to register as soon as possible.
Here at Missouri Western, registration for spring semester classes began on Monday, October 17th. Both students and advisors have been hard at work to prepare for next semester, scheduling meetings to discuss required courses and curating a plan for the upcoming semester. These times can be especially hard on advisors as well as students, most saying the hardest part is getting prepared for the advising appointment itself and finding a balance between required courses and courses that pique a student's interest. To prepare for spring registration, professors advise students to have an understanding of their required courses within their major and have a backup plan in the event a class is full.
I would say you should be prepared to register as soon as possible. By that I mean know the courses that you need, consider your options in the event that your courses are filled. As soon as your particular registration date arrives, be ready to register.
The Academic Advising Center also offers a multitude of resources to help those struggling. If you are unsure of the classes you need to take for your major, Advisor Evan Banks says not to stress, however, because advisors are prepped for situations like these.
So don't worry about us. We are trained and prepared for the stress. It's your stress that we're trying to alleviate, so the sooner you get in here, the better.
The beginning of spring semester also marks the beginning of the last semester for Missouri Western seniors. Advisors on campus strive to remind all seniors to complete the graduation enrollment form and prepare for exit and department exams. Two local seniors offer advice on those struggling with graduation preparation.
The closer you get to the finish line, the more tired you get, so it's important to kind of stay focused and kind of like keep yourself on top of things.
All right, one piece of advice I have for all the seniors would be to keep your head up, finish out strong. This is it, the last stretch.
Reporting for KGSM-TV, I'm Jaden Miller.
Sophomores can register starting Monday, October 24th, and freshman registration begins Wednesday, October 26th. Registration for all other students is already opened. The priority deadline to apply for spring graduation is Tuesday, November 1st. For more information about spring registration or graduation requirements, visit goldlink.missouriwestern.edu.
Last week, the Golden Griffon Marching Band hosted and performed in the Tournament of Champions. Zoe Jane interviewed Dr. Halligan about his experiences at Missouri Western so far, as well as how TOC went.
Hello, welcome back to KGSM-TV. Thank you for joining us. I am joined with Dr. Halligan, the new band director. I'm so excited to finally meet you. It's been nice corresponding with you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me this evening.
So Dr. Halligan, what made you interested in joining Missouri Western faculty?
I was interested for a few different reasons in this position. One is that the marching band component, I've always loved working with marching bands and drum corps, and there was also a percussion teaching component, which also is one of my passions, both as a performer and as an educator. And I do have some family out here in Missouri, both my mom and then my brother's family live out here. So there were a few different things that were attractive about this position for me.
Absolutely. I really love that. Going back to your roots of music and then being close to family, I can see that for sure.
Absolutely.
So how is it working so far, working with the band?
It's been a lot of fun and rewarding working with the marching band so far. The students are both professional and very enthusiastic. One of the other director is Professor Bob Long, and he's been here for a little less than 20 years, and he has a lot of the corporate knowledge for the marching band and the university, and he is a fantastic musician, great educator, and he's kind of helped me with getting to realize the different traditions that are in place with the marching band. So, but the students have been fantastic, and they're a lot of fun to work with.
That's so lovely. I'm glad that you're finally, you're getting along with them, and it's become very harmonious.
So,
well, the Tournament of Champions just happened this past week. How was that experience, especially working with Missouri Western?
there was a lot of work that went into planning for the event, for the Tournament of Champions. I think this was the 36th year of running the Tournament of Champions event, and we had 20 marching bands, high school bands, that participated throughout the day. We started at 1:15, and the awards ceremony went at 7:30 p.m. So almost straight, and several hours. Almost every single one of our students in the marching band helped work different shifts, and we had different job duties to meet the high school marching bands and to show them where to go, to be judges' assistants, and all of us just were working really hard. And at the end of the day, we had a chance to perform for probably over 1,000, maybe even up to 2,000 or 3,000 high school marching band students. So it was a great recruiting event, and it was. It also helps bring in some money for the marching band as well.
Wow, that sounds like a very rewarding experience.
Absolutely, absolutely. One of the bigger events of our fall semester.
I wish I could have seen it. Have there been any obstacles you have experienced so far working here?
I would say so far the obstacles for me is just getting to know some of the high school band directors as far as recruiting, and I've only been here for a little less than 2 months, so that will come in time, but that will help with as we start to grow the marching band program. But as I get to know some high school band directors and musicians and private instrument instructors throughout the area, that'll help me find high school seniors that are interested in coming to Missouri Western. So not an obstacle necessarily, but that's something that I'm working towards. So.
Well, I think you will definitely get to it in time, especially with how well you're starting to get along with the students in band. My last question, what improvements would you like to make to the band program, if any, at Missouri Western?
The Missouri Western Marching Band, the GGMB, has a great tradition, and so one of the things that I would try to help this program with is maybe having some digital content, some videos on YouTube, as well as expanding our social media presence, which they recently have started doing, and I think that's been a great recruiting tool. But something that the high school students can see, some performance videos of the percussion ensemble or the marching band. So that's something that, not just as a marching band, but as a music department and as a whole, that I think we're working towards.
Well, I think that sounds like a great plan. Well, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for joining for this interview. It's much appreciated. This is Zoe Jane with KGSM-TV. Thank you everyone for watching, and back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Zoe. I'm so glad to hear he is adjusting well and seeing those beautiful photos of the marching band.
To some, the Society for Collegiate Journalists is one of the most interesting organizations on campus. This week, they held a career night that many professionals from the journalism world attended in order to help shape the minds of future journalists. KGSM-TV's own Kenan Bielawatz has more.
The Society of Collegiate Journalists, better known as SCJ, recently just held their first career night fair of the year. This event happened on October 19th, and it went from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. inside of Fulkerson Center. Students who wanted to take journalism as a career or a public relations career got to participate in this event. I got to speak with Darren Doyle and what he was going to take away after this event.
Really taking away is that you don't always know everything you think you know, but that's a good thing, because I mean the world is constantly keeping you on your toes. One thing I would advise to students is just to make connections and get to know people and learn things that you end up learning things from those people that you don't really think you can learn it from.
I got to talk with the president of SCJ, Thomas Fornes, and he talked about how well this event went for him and his group.
I was really pleased with the turnout. There's professionals from all sorts of fields here. I got to talk to somebody from Zoom actually just a few minutes ago. I think students are having a great time.
If you wish to learn more about the Society of Collegiate Journalists, please email Thomas Fornes at tfornes@missouriwestern.edu. Reporting for KGSM, I'm Kenan Bialovats.
Thank you, Kenan.
A backpack display was featured at Kelly Commons on Monday, October 17th. Missouri Western partnered with Active Minds, a nonprofit organization, in an attempt to fight the stigma surrounding depression and suicide. Harry Loomis has the story.
Suicide and depression can be very tough subjects to talk about, but Active Minds, based in Washington, D.C., is looking to send silence packing with their national tour, telling the stories of those we have lost to suicide. When Brett Bruner caught wind of this, he knew Missouri Western had to be a stop along the way.
One of the pieces that our university care team, the counseling center, student government association, the dean of students office, we've all had conversations is how do we continue to support mental health of our students? How do we break down the stigma associated with mental health? So we were looking for the right interactive display, and we've heard great things about Send Silence Packing with Active Minds, and so we decided let's bring them here, let's give it a try.
Missouri Western was Active Minds' 15th stop of 18 on a 2.5-month tour. Their display is a powerful one. Families of the victims of suicide have donated backpacks to Active Minds to show as a display of all the lives that have been lost. Outside of Blum Union saw hundreds of backpacks surrounded by supportive messages. This is to serve as a reminder that it's okay to not be okay.
I've been here since 7:15 this morning helping set up, but even during times as I kind of roam through, listen to the stories, both on the video and the audio, as well as read the stories, something always stands out to me more. I think that that really is eye-opening for our students and our faculty and staff who are walking by the display.
The inside display saw more stories of victims while also showing how to get help. There is a survey and a book that travels from school to school with supportive messages to students from students. Additionally, the Counseling Center had information on how to schedule a fully confidential meeting.
So being able to see those stories and, break that stigma around it and say, hey, we are here to help you, and this is why we bring this. We want to disrupt that.
While Active Minds never rejects donations, they hope to never add any more backpacks. Reporting for KGSM-TV, I'm Harry Loomis.
Thank you, Harry. We'll be back with more after this break.
A leading problem I've faced is a misunderstanding on the part of students of the importance of academic advising. They miss appointments. They don't make appointments. But what's most disappointing is when they come unprepared. Give me a student with a plan in their head, or better yet, on paper. We could talk about their interests, not just about their classes. We could discuss internships, classwork, grad programs. It would open the door to what advising is truly about.
Can I help you?
But instead, they come to me in a panic when they need to register because...
I need to talk to you. I was trying to register for my classes, but it wouldn't let me do it because I need my PIN, and I haven't had time to set up an advising, so I don't even know what classes I need to take, so I just signed up for a bunch of random ones, and I'm going to drop them later. So can I have my PIN real fast? Because I'm still logged into a computer in the lab. Am I interrupting?
Take ownership of your education. Make the most of your advisement by being proactive, punctual, and prepared. You'll open the door to more personalized attention and avoid costly setbacks. It's never too soon to begin planning your next steps at Missouri Western.
Tonight on Mr. Mummy's Horathon, Killer Dolls strike in Blood Buddy. Then there's no whisper within the woods. And finally, these kids are on thin ice with this Scully in Wednesday, the 27th. You won't want to miss out, for that would be a grave mistake.
Starts tonight at midnight on Channel 17.
Welcome back to KGSM-TV.
This week, we decided to take KGSM-TV off campus to downtown St. Joe, where some new spooky activities are popping up. If you happen to make it to the corner of 6th Street and Felix and you feel a chill go up your spine as you walk through the doorway, you may find yourself in the Tiger's Den. This is a bar and bookstore, and it has transformed itself for the month of October into a Halloween-themed bar. The years prior, the Tiger's Den hosted a Christmas bar, and as Halloween is one of the favorite bar manager's favorite holidays, the owner decided to do a Halloween theme this year as well. It is covered head to toe in scary characters. They have Halloween and fall-themed beverages, such as the Caramel Apple Martini, and display horror movies above the liquor shelves.
We'll be having our Halloween theme until the end of October, and then the very last weekend, or last Saturday of October, the 29th, will be our big Halloween costume party here, and that's just kind of for everyone. And then we'll be transitioning to Christmas, so that next week will be closed for a couple days, and then we're gonna start decorating for Christmas and get it all set up bigger and better than last year, so yeah.
If you are interested in participating in the costume contest, it will be on October 29th at the Tiger's Den.
Also be sure to check out the Tiger's Den this coming November and December when they transition to a Christmas bar. Here at Missouri Western, Griffon Activities program has been putting on some very fun events to bring the students out. One event in particular that got the students moving around and having some fun was Open Mic Night. It provided an opportunity for all students to perform and have fun while doing so. A diverse array of students were in attendance. As the semester continues, GAP has a fun announcement for the students and staff at Missouri Western.
My event for the multicultural chair, I actually wanted to have an open mic night just for people to come out and express how they feel without being judged or feeling like there's too big of a crowd. So the crowd was actually pretty good, and then coming out, singing, doing poetry, or just coming together and showing each other and meeting new people. It took a little turn because we went from being downstairs to being upstairs, but it actually made it better because everyone's closer together and just having a vibe, you could say. We do have a soul food night coming out in November. That's actually another event that I really have been wanting to do. So coming out and just having some fried chicken, macaroni, green beans and greens, just coming out and having some good soul food. So
I honestly really enjoyed it. I honestly had such a great time. It really was very entertaining. I enjoyed watching people perform, and I actually enjoyed, performing myself, and stuff with friends. It was really fun. Yeah, honestly, I really feel like it did bring out a pretty diverse crowd. Kind of seemed like, people from different, groups and different organizations come out. I am seeing a couple, Black Greek organizations out there, a couple members from there and stuff like that, people from BSU, NAACP and stuff, and even some of course GAP members and everything, SGA. It brought out a little bit of everybody.
To stay updated with future GAP events, follow their Instagram page at Griffon Activities.
Missouri Western is well known for its inclusivity and welcoming nature. The staff, faculty, and students certainly try their best. However, that is not how several Missouri Western students feel when they make their way through campus. Handicap parking, automatic doors at the push of a button, and elevators are several improvements that have been made to Missouri Western in an effort to make the buildings more accessible. For physically able-bodied students and faculty, this may seem like enough. However, that is not the consensus for a few Missouri Western students who are physically disabled. They agree that the efforts have certainly helped their quality of life, but there are still glaring obstacles that have them concerned.
Basically, I hadn't been an eater at all since last semester because we no longer have a class there. One of our classes got moved, and I had a meeting with someone in that building. So it was the first time I actually parked there in a while, and I noticed it in that entire row. There was 2 sections of parking. And I had noticed it was no longer handicap parking. There were several reserved spots and then some for future students. I had asked some questions to the first person I saw, which was in the registrar's office. It was that first, I was like, who can I talk to? And from there I kind of got ping-ponged around. I was referred to the police department, the parking, kind of talked to them about it since they're they oversee that kind of stuff. And then I was sent to the Dean of Students, and then Accessibility Resource Center, which I had no response for about a week. And then I was told it was due to the slope of the sidewalk.
There's a lot more disabled people than people think, because it's not just people in wheelchairs, there's invisible illnesses, there's so many. And the lack of ADA affects them as well. So, and even then, the lack of ADA can also be dangerous, because actually a month ago, you know, the sidewalks are really bumpy. I hit a bump and I broke my back. I know they can't control the sidewalk, because like they can't control like I can control the elevator or anything. So like I'm not upset about that. It's more or less it's like I don't see, like during the summer you could work on it. You know, like I understand working on the sidewalks is difficult, because that would mean people wouldn't be able to walk and whatever, and it would affect me as well. So I understand it's way more difficult than just fixing it, but it's like the least you can do is let me have a parking spot. At least let me have a ramp that I can use, or at least an elevator that's comfortable.
Carly Miller has shown an interest in creating a student organization to provide representation for all disabled students. If you are interested, please reach out by emailing her at kmiller62@missouriwestern.edu.
This week for our history segment, we want to highlight LGBTQ+ History Month. Since 1994, from October 1st to October 31st, the United States celebrates LGBTQ+ history. This month was started by Missouri High School's history teacher, Rodney Wilson. Wilson was the first openly gay public school teacher in Missouri and served as founder on the first coordinating committee. October was chosen by Wilson because the first and second LGBT marches on Washington in 1979 and 1987 were in October, and National Coming Out Day is on October 11th. LGBTQ+ History Month is intended to encourage honesty and openness about your sexuality.
As the cold weather and snow is coming our way, there is a good chance for power outages. This past week on October 19th, there were almost 2,000 power outages in Oregon. Some people may believe that this was caused by the recent cold weather and snow, but this is far from the truth. Surprisingly enough, these outages were caused by a single squirrel. According to the Salem Reporter, the squirrel chewed through multiple power lines, which led to most of Salem, Oregon being without power and many power companies in the area receiving complaints. As it continues to get colder outside, make sure you stay warm and keep an eye on those pesky squirrels. You may notice that many of our students around campus always walk to their classes with earbuds in.
This week, reporter Reese Payne asked our students what they were listening to. Here is what he learned.
All right, so today we're going to go around and ask people what they're listening to. We want to see what everybody on campus is listening to and see what their taste in music is. All right, Addie, what are you listening to?
I'm listening to What Does the Fox Say?
Okay, she's listening to What Does the Fox Say?
To the Bible audiobook.
She's listening to the Bible audiobook. What a religious gal.
So to sum it up, we got What Does the Fox Say in the Bible audiobook at this table.
All right, Will, what you listening to?
Shooting shells by Smash PPG.
What are you listening to?
Drake.
Just listening to Drake.
Common answer.
What you listening to? Jimmy Cooks by Drake.
Oh, well, good luck with that.
All right, man. What song are you listening to, Coop? All right, Brianna. What are you listening to?
Waukesha by Moneybag.
Kayla, what are you listening to?
Body Party by Sierra.
Body Party by Sierra.
Quality.
Reporting for KGSM-TV, Reese Payne.
It looks like those students have excellent taste in music. Thank you, Reese.
After the break, Harry and Kenan take over for our sports update.
Missouri Western is home to the Walter Cronkite Memorial. The memorial is home to 8 of his Emmys, as well as exhibits showcasing caricatures, space exploration, his wife Betsy Maxwell Cronkite, timelines of his career, and a replica of his CBS newsrooms that visitors can interact with. We invite all of you to explore the Cronkite Memorial. Self-guided tours are available Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Welcome into KGSM-TV Sports. I'm Harry Loomis.
And I'm Kenan Bielowitz. Despite a rough season for Griffon Volleyball, the fans and students are still in support of their team. With 6 games left, the Griffons can still make the MIAA postseason if they go on a run. On October 18th, Griffon Athletics presented its first ever Gold Rush night as they would pack the Looney Complex Center in order to cheer on Missouri Western Volleyball as they were taking on their arch rivals Northwest Missouri State. Set 1, Nessa Johnson with a beautiful set here for Haley Crane. Johnson would finish the game with 22 assists, but it was all Northwest. 11-4 in set 2, Jaden Ferguson with a kill that would skim right off the net and fall in front of Yanni Washington's face. Set 3, match point. The Griffons need this one in order to keep the game going. Johnson with the serve, but the Bearcats would show why they're the number 3 team in the nation as Abby Brunson would throw the hammer down, ending the game 3-0 for Northwest Missouri State. Missouri Western will have 4 games on the road before closing out the final 2 at home.
It's been a trying season for Griffon soccer, but after a big Friday night win against Rogers State, the Griffons are currently sitting in an MIAA postseason spot with 2 games remaining. After going winless in 5 straight, the Griffons finally got back-to-back wins at Newman and at home against Rogers State. The Griffons are 2 games ahead of Rogers State for the final MIAA postseason spot with just this weekend remaining. The Griffons' schedule doesn't do them any favors facing Central Missouri and Northwest Missouri, but as long as the Hellcats don't defeat Central Oklahoma and Northeastern State, the Griffons will live to fight another day. After 4 straight losses, Griffon football finally got back in the win column with a 23-16 victory at Northeastern State. However, this weekend presents Matt Williamson's team with their most daunting test of the season, a trip to the jungle to face undefeated Pittsburgh State. You've got to have weapons to be 7-0, and that's exactly what the Gorillas have. When you face Pitt State, you're facing the most efficient offense and the most efficient defense in the MIAA. They have a quarterback in Chad Dotson Jr. that takes care of the ball while finding time to throw 18 touchdowns. On defense, they don't force a lot of turnovers, but good luck converting. Opponents are just 32% on 3rd downs and 42% on 4th downs against this unit. For a Griffon team that's 4th in offense and 11th in MIAA efficiency, this will be a tough challenge to overcome. If there's one aspect that the Griffons may have the upper hand in, it's the run game. While the Gorillas have relied heavily on Caleb Lewis in the backfield, the Griffons have platooned between 300-yard men Reagan Jones, Brandon Hall, and Jared Scott. If the Griffons pull off the upset tomorrow, expect one or more of these guys to be a major factor.
The Griffons men's golf team took part in the Newman Invitational this last weekend and would see them finish 9th out of 16 teams. Marius Dossier would lead the Griffons and would finish in a tie for 15th place. The Griffons would finish 24 strokes behind winners Concordia St. Paul.
After the break, we have a rundown of what's coming up next week.
As fun as college is, it can be a really stressful time.
It's easy to feel alone.
Even in full classrooms, sometimes it still feels like you have no one.
It's especially easy to feel isolated during these crazy times.
It's hard to recognize the signs when you don't know them.
Don't be afraid to reach out and get help.
There are always ways to get help on campus.
The counseling center is always ready to work with you.
There's also lots of ways to get help off campus.
There are several different hotlines you can reach out to.
Make sure to check in on your friends and family.
Keep an eye out for the signs.
There's no shame in recognizing that you're struggling.
There's no shame in asking for help.
There is no shame in taking care of yourself.
You and your mental health are the priority.
See the signs. Take action.
Take action.
Take action.
Take action.
Take action.
Take action.
I'd really encourage, if you need to talk to someone, reach out to us. That's what we're here for.
Thank you to everyone for watching. Next week, stay tuned for some more Halloween-themed stories, as Halloween is just around the corner.
I'll have your football recap as well as a preview on Griffon basketball's tilt at Rep Arena.
Be sure to follow KGSM-TV on Facebook and YouTube. Have a lovely day.